Look how beautiful. This is the same Tesla factory in Fremont, California that you all saw in the previous videos. And although those videos are a little outdated, that was the Model S, and now we have the Model 3, we have, the Model Y, we have the Cybertruck that's coming out. But the same business problems and the same business solutions they're constantly trying to improve, which is how can they get this factory that we're looking at right here to produce cars as fast as possible, but also while keeping costs down, and also keep quality up. The last video you saw in the series was all about quality control. You saw the rain check. Does the charger work? Is the axles good? Is there any extra cabin noise that shouldn't be there? And they had the paint booth. They have the choices between whether they should use robots or whether they should use humans to do a lot of this work. And this is just one example of supply chain management and operations management. You notice back to supply chain, some of the things they do in-house, some of the things they outsource. That's one of the big questions that operations managers have to decide. Is the labor cheaper to use outside of the United States, within the United States? Is it cheaper to pay for a robot and pay for an engineer to manage that robot? Or is it cheaper to pay a human to do that? I've watched a lot of interviews with Elon and his factories, and something I find interesting, for somebody he's very futuristic. For somebody that futuristic, he still admits that there are a lot of tasks and a lot of jobs that a human still needs to be around to do. You cannot automate the entire process. So these are another decision. Let's just throw off some examples of what, if you were to actually work in operations management, what might be some decisions you have to make. Well, one is, does Tesla make their own tires, or do they buy their tires from somewhere else? Last time I checked, Tesla had a agreement with Pirelli tires, and so part of that contract, they outsource the making of their tires. At the same time, they need to have enough tires in stock so that their production line never gets slowed down by Pirelli's supply chain as well. So they're reliant on that. Another part of the video was picking this location. If you didn't catch that, this used to be New United Motors, which was a joint venture between GM and Toyota at the time. I actually have some family members that worked at the plant back when it was Toyota and GM, and they were making the Toyota Tacoma truck out of this. And it's a really good location. You can even see there's the assembly, stamping, plastics. There's a painting room over there. They actually show you, there's a visitor center. Very cool. So back to why they chose this location was, it was already somewhat set up for it. As you saw, they had to paint and things like that. Another reason is, look at this. You have a major freeway here, 880. And 880 will actually go all the way to the Oakland docks. So you can easily get one of these Teslas on a truck to be transported anywhere north or south, and then you can easily go to another freeway after that. It's easy to get supplies into, so both incoming and outcoming, it's really easy to get things in and out. It's next to a major freeway. This major freeway connects to a major port. For those of you that don't know, the Port of Oakland is a massive port. There's lots of jobs here. You've probably seen it. You probably drive by. You've seen these little dinosaur-looking things before. Yeah, think about that. There's all sorts of products coming in from China. There's things going out. You can get things from different ports within the United States. But the Port of Oakland is one of the most popular ports. A little pop quiz for you. And for some reason I know this fact. What is the busiest port in California? That gets the most, okay, here's the caveat, that gets the most amount of things coming and going into China. The answer is, pause the video if you don't want the answer, the Long Beach port. I was listening to a podcast about this, and it's one of the largest ports out there, especially things coming in and out of China. And within the last decade, would you believe, you would think that when things come into a port, and this is all supply chain management, operations management, which is, how do you deliver your products? Is it by plane, by boat, by water? And how do there's speed versus cost that you have to decide on. But another pop quiz for you. It would make sense that every time a boat comes into from China to here to the United States, that it would be full of good products and services, or products, physical products, right? And then it would also make sense that every time the boat left to go back to China, that it would also be filled with products to go back, importing and exporting, as we learned in a previous chapter. But quick question for you. Do you think that we ever send empty boats to China because we buy more than we sell from China, especially in physical goods? Yes or no? The answer is we do buy more via boat, goods via boat from China than we ship off to them. Don't quote me on this, but it's either 2 or 3. That for every one boat that comes in for every 2 boats that come in with goods, we might only be sending 1 back with goods and 1 just completely empty, because we're getting so much from China. The reason we do that, though, is you and your parents have, within the last 30 years, have received very cheap, inexpensive goods. Look at the back of your shirt. The reason why it's not made in the USA is because you can make those things a lot cheaper somewhere else. So that's not really what this chapter is about. When you get into, that's a separate chapter on international business, which we'll talk about. But as far as logistics, a lot of things come in via boat. And then we also export a lot via boat. Maybe not to China, but other countries as well, and other parts of the United States, Canada, Mexico, etc. So as you can see, this is a very, very big topic. Think about electronic stores like Best Buy. Their supply chain is getting products from Sony, getting products from Samsung, getting products from Apple to stock their store, and how think about Amazon. Wow, I took an Amazon warehouse tour. It is crazy the way their supply chain works. If you were to see, this really is what their warehouses look like. Some of my students have had jobs here. Now, a lot of these that we're looking at right now are human. These are all human-based. If you notice, a human can get between these rows. Like, you can walk between here. If you do robot, they look like this. They have these little robots that go around and they grab different items. These are real robots. I took the tour. This is exactly what it looks like inside. They have other robots as well. But even the Amazon warehouse, just like with Tesla, even the ones that have robots, they still have a lot of humans as well. It's like a handoff. Like, for example, here, this person is a grabber, and so the robots bring her the item that she wants, that she needs to send out to one of you. Let's say you ordered something on Amazon, some sunscreen. She'll grab the sunscreen out. She'll put it in the proper bin. That bin will then go on a conveyor belt where someone will package it. You can do that. Amazon warehouse packager. I spelled that wrong, but you get it. Then it goes to somebody like here. They package it for you. It then goes down an assembly line, and it ends up in the back of a UPS truck or a USPS. It's quite wild. These warehouses are bigger than football fields. It's crazy. If you ever have a chance, and depending on when you see this video, they do tours, and I offer extra credit if you go. Yeah, here they are here. I think they're not doing it right now because of COVID. Yeah, but I did one of these tours. It was great. It was really interesting. So here's some real world examples. We got Tesla. We got the Amazons. You got food factories. You got retail jobs. Many different supply chain and operations management positions to help make the flow of those companies keep quality standards up, get more efficient at those particular tasks, and then logistics as well. And to give you an idea about job outlooks, an operations manager, you can Google it right now. Let's go ahead and Google it. Operations manager. ONET is one of my favorite websites. It's a government website. General and operations manager. It tells you like what kind of job skills you're going to need for this type of job. Let's go ahead and go down to California. Look at that. Nationally, it's $50 an hour job to start. In California, it should be even higher. Workers on average earn $113,000 a year. Some can earn up to $200,000 a year. So this is big money. Big money in there's some counties here if you want to see about the counties. On the low end, it's 40 or 50K. On the high end, it's $200,000 a year. Anyways, there's a lot more that goes into it. There's data analytics to analyze numbers and see what the fastest way of certain things are, and talking to vendors and many other facets to this job. But this is a very introduction to the topic. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you have any questions, and we'll be chatting with you soon.